afternoon. Obviously, one of the big reasons why I took this job in the spring was the excitement of being able to work with a young superstar like Jack Eichel. And it's a very proud moment for our entire organization to announce an 8-year extension with Jack. The fact that Jack will now be a part of our organization here in Buffalo for the next 9 years sets our organization up for success. I would like to thank Peter Donatelli and Peter Fish, Jack's representatives. Through this entire process, they handled themselves very professional, very cordial, and both sides from day one wanted to try to get a deal done. And to sit here today and have that goal achieved is something that we're very excited about, and want to just thank the two Peters in that regards. So without further ado, I'd like to congratulate Jack and introduce Jack Eichel.
I didn't really prepare too much. It's been definitely a whirlwind for me the last 24 hours, and sitting here right now, I don't think I'd ever imagined this. I'm looking at my 21st birthday in a few weeks. I never imagined that I'd have the opportunity to do this and play hockey for a living, and there's just so many people to thank. Obviously the Pagulas, and put their faith and all their trust in me, and obviously Mr. Botterill for everything that he's done over this entire process, the whole Sabres organization, for everything that they've done for me since I arrived here in Buffalo 2 years ago. It's been an unbelievable time here, and I can obviously say I wouldn't be here without my two parents that are here, and it's great to have them here for this moment. It's a special one, and one that I'll definitely remember. I just look forward to being a part of this city for the next 9 years, and all the successes that we're going to have. Since I've been here, everyone's been nothing but great to me, and I just have so much to offer and so much to prove to all the people here. And I want to bring so much excitement to this team, this organization, and this city. And our team's headed in the right direction, and I couldn't be more excited for the future here in Buffalo.
Okay, we'll open up now to questions. Okay, Mike.
Mike Harrington, Buffalo News. Jack, give us an idea of the timetable of everything that developed yesterday. I know you were prepared to go through the season, but your agents indicated to many of us that was the case. Did it almost just crystallize in your mind to try to get this thing done before the opener?
Well, I think obviously both sides wanted to get it done. I want to be in Buffalo, and I think that obviously now it's pretty obvious that the Pagulas really trust me, and they have a lot of faith in me, and Mr. Botterill's the same way. So I think both sides wanted to get a deal done, and just to be able to get it done yesterday before the season started is a great step. And like you said, I was prepared to play, and that was fine with me. It was it was nothing. It was playing for your contract, and I was fine with that. And obviously, I think being able to get it done, it's great. It just it shows the commitment from both sides, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Jack, John Worrell with the Associated Press. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've come into camp saying you want to be a leader on and off the ice. With this contract, that brings that level up. Does it reinforce how much you need to be not just the face of the franchise, but also that leadership figure that players look up to?
Absolutely. I think, with or without the contract, that was my goal coming into camp. Be a leader, be a guy that, people can rely on, and try and push our team and organization, to the next level. And, I want to be that person. I want to take on more responsibilities. Obviously, when something like this happens, it maximizes that, and you could be under more of a microscope, but like I said, there's so many great leaders in that room, and so many great people in the city and this organization, and I just try and be myself and be the best player I can be every day and be the best teammate.
Jack, Shannon Shepard, News 4 Sports. When you heard this news, did you feel like this was an opportunity for you to step up in the locker room and be a leader for this city, and one day, wear that C on your sweater?
Kind of going back to what I said there, I don't think that, it took a contract or whatever to, force me to be a leader. I think just coming in here, obviously it's my third year. I want to expect more out of myself, and I said the same thing after my first year. You just gain more experience. You're a little more comfortable in the room. You have a little bit more respect from your peers, and for me, it just means coming to the rink every day and trying to be a professional, trying to lead by example, work hard, try and get better, and if you do that, guys will follow, and that's what creates a good culture.
Jack, did you feel taking this contract now would help the team down the road, maybe have some flexibility and those types of things to maybe get more folks around you?
It's a tough question. Obviously, my agents and Mr. Botter are the experts in that department, but it just seemed like a great deal, and obviously that's the goal here, is to have a good team over the next however many years, and obviously I want to be a part of that, and there's going to be opportunities where there's going to be other guys who are going to be a big part of that. So, I'm happy to be sitting here and knowing that I'm going to be part of this organization for the next 9 years.
Bill Hoppy, Times Herald. Jason, can you take us through the timeline of the deal? Obviously, you could start talking to him July 1st. When did it heat up? When did it really get going, I guess, and from there?
Well, it was a situation that myself had talked to both Peter Fish and Peter Donatelli throughout the summer. And you look at the situation in the summer, new contracts coming into the scenarios, a contract with 8 years here. There's a lot of different things to talk about. Term, financial details, the structures of contracts. But through the whole process, I thought the goal for both parties was to get a deal done. And I think I respected their side. They respected some of our concerns from our side. I think it was a situation where leading up to the last couple of weeks, we talked about the possibility of trying to get it done before the start of the season, be best for all parties involved. And at the end of the day, I think there was compromise on both sides. And it's a situation where, we wanted to make sure that 4 or 5 years from now, Jack and his family was very excited about being in Buffalo and very comfortable with the contract. And I think the agency felt the same way from the Buffalo Sabres side. And we came to agreement there yesterday and woke up this morning. I think both sides are still very excited about the situation, so to me it was a perfect deal.
Bucky?
Bucky Gleason, Buffalo News. Jack, how much of a role did you have in your own negotiations, and did you at all tell Peter, look, I want to be here for 8 years, or did you kind of think about different options that you had that could have been shorter?
No, I think right from the get-go it was pretty obvious both sides wanted 8 years. I had told my agents I wanted to be here for as long as I could and commit to the city and this organization. So I think that, in terms of how long, it was set, pretty quickly, and the negotiations, I kind of left that to my agents. That's their job. For me, it's to play hockey and try and get better this summer. So they would fill me in here and there on their conversations with Mr. Botterill, but for the most part, I just tried to leave it up to them and let them do their job, and they did a great job of it.
Can I follow that, Chris? So in terms of money, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You knew at the end of it you were going to be making more money than you ever expected when you started playing this game. You were kind of okay with that?
Well, yeah, it's a tough question to put me on the spot, but yeah, obviously, when you talk about it, it's, it's like you said, it's a lot of money, and, I'm just really grateful and humbled that the organization, obviously the Pagula family and the entire city, put their trust in me like that, and, it means a lot to me and my family to be sitting here today, accepting this offer.
Jack, what about your experience here the last few years made it so important to get that long-term deal done here?
Yeah, this city means so much to me, and I like to think that I mean a lot to this city as well. And this organization's been nothing but great to me since the first day I walked in the doors, and they've given me every opportunity that I've wanted, and the city the same way. People are great to me, people are great to my friends, my family, so I have nothing but great things to say about Buffalo, and I think that I really owe it to them, and I think I owe it to myself to do something special here with the group of guys that we have in the room and the organization and the people that are here now. It's it's like I said earlier, it's really exciting times, and it's an organization that has believed in me, and I owe a lot to it, and I'm looking forward to achieving all that.
Jonah?
Hey, Jack. Jonah Javad with Channel 2 here in Buffalo. What have the last 12 to 24 hours been like emotionally, maybe in conversations with you and your family, and also mentally, being able to get this deal done before the season begins?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit overwhelming. Not the contract itself, but when you kind of agree to it and you're going over it, and I spent a lot of time on the phone yesterday with my dad and my agents, just going through the whole process, and when you finally agree to a contract like that, it's pretty emotional. Obviously, just thinking about everything you've gone through in your whole life, and being able to agree to something like that, and everything your family's done for you, and it was a pretty special moment, and there was just a lot of emotions, and I tried to just hold it all in because I was actually going to a teammate's house for dinner, and I didn't really tell anybody for a while, so they ended up just finding out on Twitter as I was sitting next to them. They looked over at me and started laughing, so it was kind of awkward, but there was a lot of emotions, and I don't think it really has still hit me completely. It's obviously pretty crazy to think about it, and you get to do something you love, like play hockey, and I'm just excited to be doing it here.
Jack, over here, just can you reflect back to a year ago where it was a tougher situation, knowing where you were a year ago, being on the ice, your left ankle, not knowing what was happening with that, to being here now? What is this past? Can you reflect back, and what has this past year done for you?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's it's been good. There's been a lot of ups and downs, and I think you can look at something like that and the adversity that you go through with an injury and not being able to be out there helping your team. You can look at it negatively or positively. Obviously, you learn a lot about yourself, and you learn a lot about going through adversity, and I think that in many ways I'm better for it. And after that, a lot of ups and downs with changing and management and coaches and players, and there's been a lot of things going on in this organization, but I think it's all for the good, and I just I couldn't be more excited for the future here, and it's like you said, it's been a bit of a roller coaster last year, but more than anything, I'm just excited to lace up my skates and play hockey tomorrow. That's what it's all about, and that's what I'm most excited for.
Pierre?
Jack, over here, Pierre LeBrun. What kind of a factor was it for you, the guy sitting on your left, in terms of his hiring? He's in charge of all the decisions for this team, and you're making a long-term commitment to this team. How much did that weigh into you willing to sign for 8 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think I obviously had met Mr. Botterill before. We sat down for a while this summer and had a great conversation, and I think after that I knew the type of person who would be running our organization, and I think it said a lot about him, the type of commitment he makes to us as players, not only on the ice but off the ice, and caring about our families, caring about who we are as people, learning about us, and that's the type of person that you want. You want to be here, and I want to commit to him, and the same way that he's committed to me here. So it means a lot to build this relationship and continue to move forward.
Matt?
Jack, Matt Beauvais, Channel 7. You've mentioned several times how excited you are, Jason. You've said the same thing. But is there any in particular reason why, moving forward, you're more excited now than maybe you were when you got here a couple years ago?
Well, I mean, I think that obviously everyone's a bit older, more experienced. I think, guys, I think the culture of our team's moving in a great direction right now, and just being around the team, through training camp and preseason. I know we haven't had the most successful preseason in terms of wins and losses, but I think that the culture itself in the room and, the mindset of players every day is a lot better. The mood is better in the room, and like I said, everyone's a year older, everyone's a year more experienced, and we're just excited to start playing hockey again. I mean, we're starting an 82-game season tomorrow night, and we're taking it day by day and just trying to get better every day. And I think that if we do that, then we're going to put ourselves in a good position at the end of the year. And like I said, it was a long summer and a lot to think about, and long preseason, and tomorrow it starts for real, and I just couldn't be more excited for that.
Hi, Guillaume Lefrançois from La Presse. Question for Jason. I know every general manager wants to be strong at every position throughout the lineup, but how could you best describe the importance that you give to the center position, and where does Jack fit in that, and how does he help you achieve that?
Well, I think it's one of our strengths as an organization here right now, having the ability of having Jack and O'Reilly and Reinhart through the middle there, and then also having so many other players that can also play center. You look at, we have right now a Gergensen on the wing, we have Larson on the wing. The entire league is looking for more centermen, and we have the luxury of having some very good centermen here. So it's a situation where I'm a strong believer always building down through the middle. The fact that we have those assets here in the organization is a strength for us. And it's also why I felt very comfortable making this agreement with Jack. Build through the middle, and then just getting to know Jack over the last couple of months here, seeing his determination throughout training camp here. He talked about a little bit about we haven't had the results in preseasons, but I think our practices have been very good. I think our team is trying to learn our system here, and players such as Ryan O'Reilly and Jack are leading the charge through their work ethic and practice, and it's great seeing that work ethic from day one.
Paul, a few more guys.
Jack, with the commitment that they've given you, have you given any thought to either, whether it be this year or in the future, being the next or being a captain of this team?
I mean, whether I think you wear a letter on your sweater or not, I think you can always be a leader, and it's kind of the mindset that I try and take. I don't necessarily need to have a C or an A to, be myself in the room, be a leader, speak up when needed, or, do the things that I think I would do, as a leader on the team. So that's obviously up to the team and the coaching staff. And for me, I just try and be myself every day, like I tell you guys, and just try and bring a good mood to the rink, and just try and work hard and get better. And I think that if you do that and do the right things every day, people will follow you, and by doing that, you're a leader.
Mike?
Along those lines, Jason, is there going to be a captain of this team this year?
Well, it's a situation that continue the discussion with Phil. If you're asking me right off the bat, we will not be naming a captain to start the season off here. We'll see how things progress from that standpoint. And I think some of the things that Jack has hit on is exactly the same. We're very comfortable with our leadership group right now that we have here, and Jack's a big part of it. We also don't need Jack to take over the room or take over an organization. And to be honest, I don't think that happens very often anymore. I think successful teams have a collaborative model, and it's just like coaches, you can't have one voice. You have to empower your assistant coaches. And within the locker room there, I think it's important that it's a group effort. And having young players like Jack and Ristolainen be a part of that group, but also have veteran players such as Jason Palmaville or Calaposo lead in charge. We feel very comfortable with our leadership group.
Can I just have one quick follow-up, Chris? Jack, a lot of us heard today your teammates talking about they're looking forward to the dinner they're going to have. What's your reaction to that, and how much damage do you think that's going to cause you?
I don't know. I've been on a few of these trips or a few of these dinners, and they're usually not too modest with their orders. So I'm not really sure where they want to do it or when they want to do it, but I'll gladly treat the guys. I obviously wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for them, and just being able to play with them every day and their work ethic, making me a better player and a better person, and for everything that they do for me every day. So I'll gladly take them to dinner, let them order up. Just keep Kaner off the wine.
Jack, Joe Yurden from NHL.com. This is obviously the biggest contract in team history. How important was it for you, though, with this deal to keep some flexibility for the future regarding salary standpoints?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I said earlier, obviously it's important for our team to be able to get other good players, and in terms of numbers, obviously Mr. Bottle is a lot more of an expert in that department, and I kind of leave it up to my agents, and they do a lot of the negotiating and figuring out what's what the right amount may be, and I think that they did a great job as well as the Sabres organization. So I think both sides agreed on a term and deal that we both liked, and we moved forward with it.
Greg Vorse from Spectrum News here in Buffalo. Everyone's talking about the pressure that comes along with this deal, but you can spin that to the positive. Can you talk about how this is going to motivate you going forward for these next, hopefully, 9+ years?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said earlier, it's a huge motivator. It's first of all, it's humbling to know that an organization believes in you, the way that they've showed that so far, and starting with the Pegula family and Mr. and Mrs. Pegula have been nothing but tremendous to me since the first day I met them. So all the way through the organization to the trainers and equipment staff, everyone's really done everything they can for me. So it does motivate me to be the best player I can be and bring a winning team to this city. And I think that's the goal, and that's what we want to do.
Okay, last one.
Question for Jack. Jeff Chaumont from the Journal de Montréal. You said last night you were at a dinner and trying to keep the secret. Among your teammates, who was the first one to break the news?
I actually got a few texts from a few teammates that I wasn't with at the time, just congratulating me and a few nice messages. And then I was with Jake McCabe and Sam Reinhart, and we were just sitting on the couch having dinner, and I actually went outside to take a call from Mr. Pegula, and I walked back in, and they just kind of looked at me. I didn't say anything and just sat down on the couch, and they just started laughing, and then they, whatever, congratulated me, and it was a nice moment.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks to our friends from Montreal who came down as well. We'll do a quick picture here.